If you already know what a tattoo of Medusa represents, then you can understand why explaining this image to my 6-year-old was so unpleasant. This is the head of Medusa being looked at by Perseus, her killer, and his special lady friend Andromeda. And this comes from the Encyclopedia of Classic Mythology that I grew up with for my entire life. And all of the stories surrounding this one go to prove the thesis that the gods are assholes. My kid got a sanitized version. You will not. So we'll go to the entry on Perseus, because there is no entry on Medusa in this book. So, where did Perseus come from? There was a king and a queen, and in the classic prophecy, it was said that the queen's firstborn son would grow up to kill the father. And so the king was terrified, and he locked his own wife up in a bronze tower. But of course, Zeus came along as a golden shower through the window and impregnated her. Fucking Zeus. So, when the kid was born, the father took his wife and his infant son and put them in a box and threw them in the sea. But because of Zeus's protection, it floated to an island where he was picked up by fishermen. He grew up among those fishermen, and on reaching manhood, Perseus was sent by the local ruler to fetch the head of the Gorgon, Medusa, a very dangerous task. Luckily for the hero, the goddess Athena hated Medusa and instructed him how to proceed. But why did Athena hate Medusa? Where did Medusa come from? Medusa was a beautiful young woman, and she was in the temple of Athena worshiping. And while she was in there, she was spied by Poseidon, the god of the sea. And in that temple, he assaulted her against her will. And because of this, Athena was furious with her, the victim. And so Athena, the goddess of wisdom, decides that her punishment will be turned into a monster. And then she keeps her beautiful face, in some versions, but gets a head filled with snakes, so that when anyone looks at her, they turn into stone. It's such a terrible part of the story. And so the Athena tells Perseus to go visit the Graea, who are 3 old hags who share a single eye. And while they're passing the eye back and forth, he steals the eye from them and makes them give him information about their 3 sisters, the Gorgons, of whom Medusa is one. And so he forces these old ladies to give information about how to help kill one of their sisters. And so he receives some other gifts like invisibility cap and winged shoes, and he uses this to fly to the island where the Gorgon sisters are. And while 2 of the sisters sleeps, he uses his shield like a mirror, and he goes up to where Medusa is sleeping, and this poor woman, he just cuts off her head. The victim in all of this. And when her blood hit the ground, from it sprung forth Pegasus, who is a symbol of so many good things and learning and thought among humans. But this is the end for this young woman who had done nothing wrong. And so from there's another wrinkle to the story that's also chilling, because he starts to fly home, but on the way, he sees a beautiful young woman, Andromeda, a princess, and she is chained to a rock by the sea because there was a sea monster there and it needed a sacrifice. And so this probably harkens back to an actual practice of female sacrifice to propitiate gods or monsters or things like that. So in this case, Perseus kills this monster and then takes Andromeda home to wed her. But as you can see, everything about this is just wrapped up in this terribleness. And sometimes I don't think I want to teach my kids about Greek mythology. Like, yes, it's good to know the names, but if you want heroes that have good actions and whose wrongs come back to them, Norse mythology, which is also in this book, is so much better. But the gods of Greek mythology are assholes.